Today, we're going to explore the most dangerous active serial killers.
I'm sorry, active?
Active?
Active serial killers. They're still out there right now.
I'm so excited.
In winter of 2016, a young woman's body was found burning in the alley.
Oh my God.
Area behind these homes. One was found here, one was found a few blocks away. A few blocks that way and further south might be where you find another story.
In November 2007, 2 women were found strangled in burning dumpsters near Washington Park on the south side.
Oh,
They had been
man.
killed within 48 hours of one another. Those cases, and at least 4 others we found over a 10-year period, were never solved.
Burning them just gets rid of a lot of evidence too, so it makes it so hard to track.
There have been far too many strangulation murders, mostly of African American women whose crimes went unsolved. No arrest was made.
Unsolved murders aren't anything new in Chicago. The city has solved less than 20% of its murders over
Less
the past
than?
30 years.
This isn't someone got shot. This isn't someone
This
was
is a hateful crime.
They're literally stripped naked and stuffed in a garbage can and then set
Yeah,
on
it's
fire.
very premeditated.
That seems really specific.
I
Yeah.
believe that there are probably more than one serial killer active in Chicago.
What?
I hope he's not implying that those were different people who did that.
You got like that specific, and then what you're doing to the bodies after, like the mutilation with the fire and all that stuff, that's more like race.
Light these women on fire and put them in trash cans? You obviously hate women.
A lot of these murders are like, okay, you shoot, they leave. They took the time to like take their clothes off, put them in a bin, light them on fire, and it's in the same, they said it was like 2 blocks away from each other within 48 hours.
If there is enough of a pattern to where you can put it on TV, that's enough of a pattern to be able to find who's doing it.
New York is where the serial killer preys on his victims, and this is where he dumps the body.
Oh.
Ugh.
Driftwood beaches of Long Island,
Oh, it's Long Island. They make a great iced tea.
with the discovery of bones, body parts, and shallow graves.
Oh my God.
We don't even know for how long they've been doing it.
11 bodies have been discovered.
11?
Victims of this serial killer that's been dubbed the Long Island Ripper.
Oh my God. Of course, all women.
Melissa advertised her services on Craigslist.
Not the Craigslist.
You can't trust people from Craigslist.
This is how the Long Island Ripper found his victims, who were all escorts.
The amount of people that have died just through Craigslist alone.
As if it's not hard enough for sex workers.
After the killer had dumped Melissa's body, he kept a souvenir,
Huh.
her mobile phone. He went through her contact list, found her sister's number, and started calling her.
What?
Oh my God, did they go through their phone and kill people from their numbers?
Imagine like your sister's killer calling you.
I hear a man's voice and I just like, my whole body like shut down, like I was just
Oh my goodness.
in shock.
As police continue to search the area for more bodies, the Long Island Ripper is still out there.
That is terrifying.
So we'll just wait for someone else to die, and then hopefully we'll get him.
They should have been able to find him from the phone. Maybe it's the police chief.
They have a leg up because we know he goes for prostitutes.
They prey on these women who are, they know, gonna be by themselves.
When they target this sort of things, it's like there's been something with like a female figure in their life.
At this point, with how much technology it is that we have, there's got to be some sort of paper trail at this point.
The shocking story of Hercules.
Okay, wait a minute. It's those.
Not the stock photos.
Can we get some better stock footage?
Starts on January 24th, 2019, when it was reported that in a paddy field in the Jalakathy district of Bangladesh laid a body.
Ooh.
The strangest part of the scene was the note tied around his neck. The note read, "I am Sajal. I am a rapist." Signed, Hercules.
This is a vigilante type of situation.
Okay, Dexter, I see you.
Roughly 2 weeks earlier, a teenage girl had allegedly been attacked and forced into sex by Sajal and his friend Rakib.
Oh my God.
Some investigators had the realization that this killing bore striking resemblance to a man named Ripan, who was a key suspect in the rape and murder of an 18-year-old garment factory worker who was found dead in her house only hours after reporting her rape to police.
Well, that's not good.
Found dead on January 17th, with a note around his neck matching almost word for word that of Sajal's. By now, police had come to the obvious conclusion that these murders were done by the same
I love it.
perpetrator. a vigilante of sorts.
I love it. You think you're entitled to someone else's body? Okay, then they're entitled to your body.
Despite his celebrated role as seen by the community, the National Police Force initiated a nationwide hunt
Nationwide for the vigilante.
in an effort to track down the vigilante killer.
It's most likely gonna happen in prison anyways. I don't condone murder, but they were already dead the second they did it.
Whoever Hercules really is, he hasn't been caught to this day.
I hope Hercules is out there.
They'll hate me because I'm like, never catch him.
That's one of those ones that's real conflicting.
The government itself puts people in death row, so this is just like a step ahead.
I feel like there are a lot of people out there who want to take things into their own hands. The thing is, like, as much as we want to trust the justice system, it has a process.
There is something wrong with this guy to be able to kill people even if they're bad. Maybe he already had those feelings inside of him.
In this region, there exist acres of land that have gruesomely been dubbed the Texas Killing Fields,
Houston.
as the bodies of 30 murder victims have been found cruelly discarded in them.
Why is it always just women?
This infamous patch of land was the final resting place of 4 victims.
Jesus.
The bodies of 2 missing teenagers.
Not teenagers.
15-year-olds Maria Johnson and Debbie Ackerman. Former classmate reported seeing them talking to a man that was driving a white van.
Oh, not the white van.
Don't ever talk to anybody in a white van.
And it's always, of course, a sketchy van.
It was the last time anyone would see them alive again. Police reports state that the killer had unlocked a gate that prevented access to an old unpaved road.
Oh my goodness.
He then drove his van down this road and parked it near an old wooden bridge, where he either carried or forcibly marched the girls onto it.
How do they not get caught?
It is known that the killer had a .38 caliber pistol on him. The pair were then forced into the waist-deep water at gunpoint. Murders or disappearances that occur in this area are most likely doomed to remain unsolved for years.
That looks like such a scary street. If you live there, move.
How do you have that much information and we still don't have a lead?
The families are never going to get a piece for what happened.
Us being in LA, it's like, how could someone get away with that? Places like that where it's so secluded and you can hide anywhere between where you are leaving these bodies.
Since 2008, nearly 200 people have died in the canals, rivers and waterways around Greater Manchester. Most of them ruled suicides or tragic accidents, but many people feel it's the work of a serial killer. Person stalking the canals of an evening. Student David Plunkett was found dead in the Manchester Ship Canal. The coroner ruled it was an accident, but his parents strongly disagree as they heard screaming and howling in the last phone call he made before his death.
There's only so many people who can die in that river before it's like, come on, dude.
Nathan Tomlinson, aged 21, was found dead in the River Irwell.
Looks like they're all like really young men.
She also believes her son's death was suspicious as his coat, phone, passport and wallet were all missing.
Yeah, that is a little suspicious.
Suvik Pal, 18.
That's so sad.
His body was found by police divers in the Bridgewater Canal. Suvik's father, Santanu, said police should investigate the possibility that his son and others were the victim of a serial killer.
Obviously you should.
The police, carrying out a review of all the cases, he still stood by that claim that it's more than just an accident.
And that's why you have people like Hercules.
Maybe it's a known spot for people to have like taken their lives there. Killers, if they know about that too, they'll take advantage of something like that.
This is not normal. There are other canals and rivers and where this is not happening.
The Little Rock slasher. This murderer's crimes involved the use of a knife, brutal excessive stabbing, and the targeting of victims in the early morning hours. This unidentified serial killer's first known murder occurred in the early morning hours of August 24th, 2020 in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
Larry McChristian, aged 64, was discovered by a member of the public, found deceased in someone's yard. The unknown killer had murdered Larry with a knife, and upon stabbing him, police would reveal that the killer had returned to his body, proceeding to stab him even more as he lay dying on the ground.
To stab him that many times, that's anger.
Just under a month later, on September 23rd of 2020, another seemingly random murder scene would be discovered. It was in the early morning hours that a friend of the victim would call police to state they'd come across his friend deceased in front of his own house.
See, like, that's why it's scary to even go outside to take out your garbage. Like, you don't even know.
The use of knives for crimes, especially like these, is extremely rare in Arkansas, let alone in the United States. Most homicides tend to involve the use of firearms, It would seem that the Little Rock slasher was going out in the early morning hours to troll for victims, and he wasn't going to halt anytime soon.
That's personal, when you have to get that close to someone to kill them.
2021 would roll around and police would be no closer to figuring out who their killer was. The two previous murders bore similarities, but it would not be until the attempted murder of Deborah Walker that police would have to come to the reality that this crime was linked to the two unsolved cases. That Deborah Walker was ambushed in the early morning hours by a black male who, having approached her, just began stabbing her repeatedly. All the crimes were now connected.
This is wild.
Took place in a relatively small area of Little Rock. Residents were and still are on high alert, and going out in the early morning hours is not advisable given the active serial killer threat. Based on the crimes, it is guaranteed that the Little Rock slasher is comfortable with the area and knows the streets well. He is thought to live and or work in the community, and reward money is still being offered for information, leading to his arrest and conviction.
Yeah, they're definitely a local.
It's always, oh, it's gotta be a drifter, it's gotta be someone from out of town. And no one wants to believe that it's someone living amongst them in their community.
When we were talking about the person who would throw people in a dumpster and burn them, that's a portion of the sense of control that people get from taking people's lives or taking things away from other people.
If he is black and all the victims are white, we have the same as the previous crime, just reversed.
It's just terrifying to know that there are people who are specifically out ready to take someone's life at any given time.
I don't know what the fuck happened to you as a kid, you know what I mean? And you're taking it out repetitively, so you either get a high from it or some sort of satisfaction.
They don't always look like that creepy guy walking past you who gives you a bad feeling. They look normal a lot of the time.
It doesn't always have to be somebody that's unwell. Like, somebody could be a perfectly sane mind and just wanting to do something like this because they're just sick.
Thanks for watching this episode.
Become a serial watcher by subscribing to our channel.
And leave a comment with any true crime topics you want to hear about next.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.